Welcome to the third ever Coding with Mitch podcast. I feel extremely grateful that I've got another really great guest for only my third ever podcast. I have Matt Tran from Engineered Truth on here. Very high profile compared to my channel. I'm sure this is going to be a great interview. I'm going to try and focus on Matt and his story and how he came to be doing what he's doing right now. So without wasting too much time, Matt, tell me about yourself.
Hey, my name is Matt. I have a YouTube channel called Engineered Truth. You guys can check it out on YouTube. It's called Engineered Truth. And I also own a job board, a remote work job board called remotize.com. That's REMOTISE.com. And then we started a new company called MinuteCut.com. And so that will be taking people's vacation videos, footage or drone footage, and then hand editing it to be a 1-minute bite-sized video that they can share with their friends and family. And it's just I just like to do these things for fun at the end of the day.
That's awesome, Matt. And before we get into talking about too much about your companies and how you're making money and all these kind of things, for the people who don't know you from YouTube, I'm assuming a lot of them will. Matt has about 350,000 subscribers, and he's only been doing this for, I think it's what, 3 years? I think in 2015 is when you started.
7 years.
Oh, yeah. I was looking at your Social Blade. Where is it? And the graph only went to 2016, but I guess that's why I shouldn't look at Social Blade. Okay, so you've been doing it 7 years. That makes me feel a little better because you're extremely successful from what I've seen. I guess my first question for you is, when did you decide to make your first YouTube video? Has that always been a thing that you thought about? Or was that just suddenly one day you said, "Hey, this YouTube thing looks pretty cool. I'm gonna give it a try"?
Yeah, there's a lot of lessons here I can unpack for your audience. I was a mechanical engineer student working at an internship at SoCal Gas, which is a Fortune 500 company. And I saw a lot of my classmates studying crap majors, criminology, philosophy, English, you name it. And I thought, wow, I felt like I was having a hard time getting an internship, but then I could only imagine what it'd be like for these people to use 4 years of their life and take out student loans to find out that they have a degree that's not going to help them get a job. And so I was looking for career information myself. And I would go to career counseling centers at the colleges I went to. I went to Cal State Long Beach. I also went to a couple other universities like community college and such. But every time I would go to these career centers, the career counselors did not know anything, because all they are people who got a liberal arts degree and then they get a master's in career counseling, and so they haven't seen a lot of things, and so their answers sucked.
I had the same experience. Sorry to interrupt you. Keep going.
Yeah, no. This is a conversation, so it's interrupt whenever.
Yeah, I mean, I had the same experience. When I went to university, I took sciences. I took physics, math, and engineering, and they had jobs for basically people who were doing arts degrees. They had like internships in business positions and things like that. But when I went there to say, "Hey, I'm taking physics, I'm taking engineering, what do you got for me? You got anything?" It was like nothing. No advice, just like complete waste of time, basically.
It is a waste of time, and that's why I really think that these career centers, they should have someone that works in technology be a part-time career counselor, even if that person doesn't have a master's in career counseling. Just get someone that has worked in this experience, hire them to be there part-time, like 1 day a week or something like that, just to give solid advice about the field. So as with many entrepreneurs, I created the YouTube channel to fulfill my own needs. And in the beginning, like I didn't know a lot about careers, but I just did what I could. So I made a video called "The Only Majors to Go to College For," and I was so scared about what other people would think that I didn't check my YouTube channel for 6 months.
Jesus, really?
Yeah. Wow. So then after I checked it after 6 months, I had a couple thousand views. Maybe I think it was like 15,000 views and like 50 subscribers. And at that time, like it was a lot easier to just like throw a video up and get a lot of views. You could get a little bit luckier. Actually, now you can get a little bit luckier too with how YouTube changes the algorithm. But yeah, I got a little bit lucky with the first video, but the subsequent videos didn't do as well. So it's been a really long journey battling YouTube's algorithm. But
what was the video? The video title, and what was it about?
The only majors to go to college for.
Okay, yeah, that would be that. Intuitively, that seems like it would be a high ranking video. Wow, I look very pale. This lighting is terrible. I look like a ghost here.
Yeah.
I need lighting like you have.
Yeah, warm lighting if it matters. Yes, 7 years of doing this, you get a good eye of like how to light a certain place.
I look like a vampire.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. So 6 months you didn't look at your YouTube channel. I find that incredible. I remember when I made my first video, I was like refresh, refresh, refresh. Now it's kind of changed. Like I put something up and I don't look at all. I just am like, it's good. I'm sure I put it out there for a reason. But yeah, that it's like totally. What about now? Like, how do you?
Oh, now I check all the time. I actually should get in the practice of checking my accounts less, including my view count, my engagement count, and my payouts too, like the income coming in. I should really only be checking like once a day or once every other day. But it's a habit that I'm battling with all the time because it does take you away from the art. I think I intuitively know what I should already create. I already intuitively know which videos are going to get a low amount of views and which are going to get a lot of views. So I should really only be checking my views maybe once a day. It could be, if I was really good about it, eventually I want to build up to where I only check my views like once every couple of days.
I feel the same way about what you just said, how like what could get views. It's like a matter of, do you want to make that thing, or does that thing, that topic interest you? Because that's what that's like what I battle with mostly, is I like to do things that are interesting. Like I'm meeting my standard of living no matter what. So it's like, okay, now I want to do things that I like to do instead of doing the things that are going to get views. Usually anyway.
It's a yin and yang. So I balance the three. Videos that I know get views, but I'm not interested in. Videos that I'm particularly interested in, but don't get views. And then videos that make me money. And so it's just a trifecta balance that I try to do. And I try to do a little bit of everything. You definitely cannot just make videos that are going to get a lot of views the whole time, because I think that's what really leads to burnout. If you're making videos that you genuinely enjoy, or content that you genuinely enjoy making, it's hard to get burned out because you genuinely enjoy making it. But when creators say they get burned out, it's because they're taking sponsorships they don't want to take, or they're just making videos because they know it will do well, but they just don't care about what they're making.
Yeah, they're not having fun anymore. They're not
having fun anymore.
They're just pursuing the money. Yeah. I just had like this. Oh, there's bugs flying around. I just had this thought actually today. Like mostly I do Android stuff, and I know some web development, but I tend to stay away from it. In the last week, I've been waiting for Pluralsight to publish one of my courses, so I'm kind of sitting in like limbo. And I said, oh well, I'm gonna rebuild my website in this time. And so I'm like getting in there, like learning all these new things. I'm having like an excellent time. Like I start work at like 7 in the morning and I don't stop till like 9 or 10, and it just flies by. I'm like, damn, it's bedtime. Shit.
Yeah.
And then, but like that wasn't happening anymore for me. Like 5 o'clock was rolling around and I'm like, oh, I don't want to work anymore. I'm getting tired. But like, since I've been doing this new thing, I've been working on my website again. It's like a fire is like ignited again, because you're like learning new interesting things. So that's I know what it does it for me. I always have to be learning new things. If I start doing like beginner stuff, I just lose interest, and I don't want to do it. It's that same game.
Yeah, and to give context to the audience, in case this is your first time ever being introduced to me, I studied mechanical engineering in school. I went to a web developer boot camp called Dev Mountain. I did not end up working as a web developer because my YouTube channel started earning like a lot of money at the same time I was in web developer boot camp. And I would say like my strengths and the reason why I think people follow my advice more than other people's advice is because I've seen multiple worlds, whereas like other people that give advice, they've only seen their world. And in a lot of situations, they don't know what's out there. Like, for example, a lot of people say my advice is wrong when it comes to like mechanical engineering, or when it comes to like, someone told me like, oh no, man, like GIS, geographical information systems, is a high demand skill or something like that. I'm like, look, man, I don't, sure, like, sure it is.
Sure.
But what I'm trying, the reason why I think people trust my advice is because I've seen the technical world, but I've also seen the sales world. I've also have a degree in psychology. I've seen that world. So like, I think I've seen a lot of different worlds, especially the digital marketing world, the online entrepreneurship world. And I've also seen the 9 to 5, working at SoCal Gas and Semper Energy. I was also a reservoir engineer intern. I worked as an HVAC engineer. I've seen a lot of shit. I've done a lot of things. Yeah. And I think that's what gives me that credibility to say it sucks. If anybody says like, oh yeah, my mechanical engineering job is great, well, it depends. Like maybe 1 out of 100 are great, but like the 99 others are crap. And if you think yours is good, you probably don't know what else is out there.
Yeah, that's a really good way to put it. I didn't realize you'd done so many things. I didn't realize you had a psychology degree. What were you
I
doing in
was psychology.
psychology?
I was gonna be a therapist.
Oh, interesting. So
Yeah.
you're interested in people. And so sales is probably a good place for you to end up, because that's really what it is. It's like understanding behavior and like how people are going to, yeah, you got to sell them. You got to understand behavior, what they want, get into their head, really.
Psychology was a little bit more useful than I initially thought. Like when I graduated psychology, I thought it was like pretty useless. Then I realized that there's some things that I was trained on in psychology that like is very, very obvious to me. Like I think I even know before I studied psychology, to be honest. But when I studied psychology, I became more aware of it. Like one of the things that we study in psychology, which is pretty weird, is that people are generally attracted to people who have similar facial features as them, which is why a lot of couples look alike. And did you know this, by the way?
No, I didn't never. No. No, as you're saying this, I'm thinking of my girlfriend. I'm like, do we look alike? Do we do the same things? I don't know. I'm going to think
Yeah,
about it more now, but
yeah. Generally speaking, like this isn't always true. Of course, there's always exceptions. Humans are humans, but a lot of times, people are attracted to those who have similar features, facial features. Um, and then also there's things like bystander effect, where people, if there's a crowd, you're less likely to take action than if you're by yourself and you need someone that needs help. I mean, there's a lot of things that I learned in psychology, and that I think just because I'm interested in it, that does translate to sales and also translate to managing a team.
yeah, manage. So you have a team now. Like how
Yeah,
many people are on your team?
seven people.
Wow.
Yeah,
How did you go from one to two? Like what, and then
me to two, or
yeah,
me plus one.
you plus one, yes.
Me plus one. So I was really making my YouTube videos, and then I read Tim Ferriss's 4 Hour Work Week.
That's a great
And
book. I've read that too.
yeah, amazing book.
I think I've
And
read
then
it twice actually. It's a great book.
it is that good.
Yeah.
So then I read it, I guess I am such on a hype train when I read a good book. I'm like, yeah, man, I got to implement like all this stuff. So then I hired a video editor off Upwork, which I was very scared to do at first, because your video is your art, and to delegate it is you're giving someone else a control of what is being shown on the screen. But eventually we built up a process where I realized that when you train someone, you just train them in steps. So I would edit most of the video, and then I would send it to the video editor just to add text on the screen. I was like, okay, that's pretty good. Then after he would add text on the screen, I would say, hey, just add like B-roll. Okay, that's pretty good. And then like, as we built up this process, I realized that what we could do to give to experienced video editors is like you just give them playlists of your videos, and then you hand them the files for an upcoming video, and you say, I want you to mimic this style. And and if they have any questions, like I actually send them the text, the font, the colors of the font, and like also like any assets that they need.
Clear instructions, very clear instructions.
Very clear instructions, but most importantly, something to model after. And like a lot of people, they'll get it like more than 50% right on their first try. And so you just have them do a couple of revisions after they submit it. And usually within a couple months, like they're already like modeling your exact style. And that was really important for me to do, because that clears me up to just shoot the videos, hand them to a video editor, and then they hand it back. And having my team in the Philippines, which I'm in the Philippines right now too, but my team in the Philippines, like they're the team I can't let go. My team of Westerners, they're pretty expensive. Like I honestly could let them go and I'll be okay. Mm-hmm. But like my team in the Philippines, they save me so much time, and they're so cost effective that 100% like I cannot let them go.
I've been trying to scale recently. I've been trying to go from me to two, pretty much, just from delegating video editing, because that's where it's got to start. Originally, I did the same thing. I tried to hand basically the whole video. I gave them an example. I gave them instructions, and I said, mimic this basically. But that didn't really work. It's subtle changes, especially because I make courses for Pluralsight, so they have to be perfect. Like. Yeah. Not even like the smallest thing off. The pace has to be right. All these things. So I said, okay. Took a step back and I said, okay, you edit a YouTube course, because I don't care much about that. It doesn't have to be perfect. It's just going on YouTube, whatever. That was good. Next step, I said, okay, we're going to try a Pluralsight course, but this time I'm going to do the editing, but I'm only going to get you to do adding these call out things on the screen. So like focusing on something, pretty much. It's like little red boxes basically. And that went okay. So now we just finished doing that. So now I'm going to kind of build from there. Like it's like taking a step by step kind of thing.
It is a step by step kind of thing, and it's important to learn how to do that.
Yeah, but it was at first when I first tried, I was like, no way this is gonna work. Like I got the product first time, and I'm like, I can't publish this. But I think the key is to do those steps, build the relationship, and then it will become cost effective. Mine's still not cost effective, but hopefully it will be.
Another key is definitely step by step, but another key is for me was once I had the main video editor. My main video editor is AJ. He's been with me for 2 years. I have him train the people that we bring on, so I don't have to do it anymore. So we recently needed a subtitler, because if you ever go on Facebook or LinkedIn, you have seen those videos. They usually have subtitles because it auto plays without sound. And I was like, look, man, we don't need a skilled video editor to add subtitles. Do you know anybody that needs a job? And he said his brother needed a job. I was like, cool. Has your brother edited a video before? No. I was like, perfect. So he sat down with his brother, taught him how to subtitle videos, and now he's subtitling videos. So now that I have the main video editor, I don't have to personally teach people anymore. I can have him teach people.
Right. That's awesome. Yeah. I mean, that's what I hope to achieve, but I'm just in the beginning stages.
Yeah.
So when did you decide to go all in on YouTube? Like, cause you said you got your mechanical engineering degree, you started working. When did you finally say, screw this job thing, I'm going to try this YouTube thing?
I got fired from all 3 of my mechanical engineering jobs.
Oh,
and yeah. So after I got fired from the 3rd one, I decided it was time to do YouTube full time, which I was only making $250 a month. And then I worked on it for 6 months, and I accomplished earning $400 a month. So then I got a job making YouTube videos for a company called bikeberry.com. You guys can still see the videos on YouTube. They're a couple years old now. And then I'm really grateful for that job, because I went from flat broke, and that was like really, really broke, to making $15 an hour. I could finally like at least go out, have a basic standard of living. And I stayed there for 9 months, and that's where I really got good at making videos. Because when I first started making videos on YouTube videos, I had no video editing experience, no DSLR experience at all. And so when I was making product videos for BikeBerry, that gave me an opportunity to learn about e-commerce. Also taught me a lot about making product videos, like particularly a video about products, like physical products. And then it also taught me a lot about how e-commerce company is ran, and how small business can imports things from China and sell them here. So I worked there for 9 months, and I feel like what I learned there is much better than an MBA, any MBA that you would get.
Yeah, that sounds very valuable. So you basically you got fired, which I want to ask you more about. But anyway, you got fired. You were making $250 a month from YouTube. So you probably were getting, like something like 200,000 views a month or something like that. And then you eventually did it for 6 months. You started making $400 a month, I think you just said. Yeah. And that's great. But yeah, obviously your standard, you're living at home, definitely can't afford to live on your own.
Absolutely.
You got a break. Somebody said, come make videos for us. You got minimum wage basically, but honestly, that's great, because you could afford to support yourself, and you got a lot of really good experience.
Yeah. What a crazy journey when I think about it.
Yeah.
And then after that, I got a social media contract with uprocks.com, their digital media publisher, kind of like a small BuzzFeed. And then I was their social media manager. So I managed their Instagram, Vine, and Snapchat. That lasted for 6 months. And then I got another social media contract after the Uprocks one ended, with Bro Science Life. They're a big comedy channel.
Yeah, I know who it is. That's funny. That's great. You did their videos, or you did their social media?
So I took their YouTube videos and I cut them up into memes for Facebook and Instagram.
You did a great job. I watched those memes.
Oh yeah,
they're hilarious.
I did it for 2 years. And did you notice that they took a break from it for a while?
Yeah, like they kind of disappeared, and then suddenly they came back. I didn't know. I didn't like follow them really, but I just noticed that like suddenly they were gone, and I was like, "What the hell, man? Your videos were great," and then just gone, and now they're back just recently, or sort of recently anyway.
Yeah, sort of recently, within like the past year. So the reason I stopped is because I quit, and then I think they wasn't sure if they saw like an ROI or like. To be honest, I'm the one that lost passion for it after a while, because during that transition, and I'm like I'm forever grateful for Bro Science Live too, because they're paying me like $1,400 a month just to make memes. And it was a very simple job. It wasn't like a full-time job. I just had to publish 2 memes a day, 2 on Instagram and 2 on Facebook, but they're pretty much the same thing. Just edited, Instagram was slightly shorter. And yeah, man, that was really awesome of them, because it was like I think I was making around like $1,500 a month from my YouTube channel, and then to make another $1,400 from Bro Science Life. Altogether, I was making like $3,000 a month remotely. And it also taught me a lot about like humor, like, because they're funny. Like he is Dom is super funny, and to watch his videos all the time, it really taught me a lot about humor.
So,
And
so I got a question about him.
Yeah, go ahead.
So
Yeah,
his partner is Gian, I think, right? Gian, I don't know his the skinny guy.
Yeah.
Yeah. How much does he play? How big of a part does he play in like the humor, or is this just Dom naturally because he's hilarious?
they work together. And then Gian is more of like the business behind the scenes guy.
Yeah.
But for sure, like, he never like showed on camera, but for sure, like they collaborate together.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, they do a good job. I was like so surprised when they just disappeared. I thought they had like they got to be making money. Like
I think they made so much money that like they just got tired of it and they want to do something else. Is really what they want to do. Yeah.
That makes sense because there's no way they weren't making money. Like they were hilarious, and every guy who goes to the gym knew about them and would just be like laughing at their shit all the time. So you made those. That's great.
Yeah. I feel a little bit bad that I quit on the spot, but I had been doing it for 2 years, and like it was a contract anyway. So then like it's not like they couldn't just fire me on the spot. Like there's no, yeah. But I just got tired of making the memes, and then so I just quit.
Yeah, of course. You wanted to work on your own thing. I'm sure that's.
And then
that's
when I started with them, my own YouTube channel was making like $1,500 a month. And then when I quit, which was about 2 years after I started working for them, my YouTube channel was making $12,000 a month. So then their 1,400 plus my 12,000. It was like I still wanted that extra 1,400 because it's like $1,400, man, to make memes. But then like it was more about it taking away from my regular work, because to do the memes, I would do a whole week's worth of memes in like one day, and to take one work day a week would take away from Engineer Truth. So it's like taking away your Monday out of and suddenly I can only have 4 days to work on Engineer Truth. So that's why I stopped working on it. And it was more about also flipping my thoughts, changing what I'm thinking about, a little that inertia of changing my mindset.
I know what you mean. It's like momentum, really.
Momentum, yeah, changing my momentum.
It's like I always bitch to my fiance about this when I'm like in my office like doing things, and then like she just comes in and asks me some random question. I'm like I had thoughts on thoughts on thoughts on thoughts on thoughts, like all stacked up and like just huddling in my head, and then a disturbance comes in and it collapses.
Exactly.
It's like, oh great, now I have to spend 15 minutes rebuilding my pyramid of thought. But it's the same thing though, from a day-to-day scale. It's the same thing on a different scale with day-to-day.
Yeah,
so
exactly.
I understand what you're saying.
And plus, like, I mean, it sounds amazing, but anything, and it was for the first like year I did it, I was like, this is great. And then a year and a half, but then approaching like 2 years, you do anything for 2 years, like, and you're doing the same thing for 2 years.
You don't put a gun in your mouth.
you do get used to it. You do get used to it. So you just want to move on to greater things for yourself. And I wish I could give them like a bigger thanks for like the opportunities they gave me. And yeah.
Cool. So recently I've seen you hanging out with Dan Locke. How did that happen?
I went to a conference called Menfluential.
Actually, sorry. Hold on. Before we talk about Dan Locke, we should tell the audience who Dan Locke is.
Oh yeah, okay. Yeah.
So he's actually I don't even know. He's just I guess he's like becoming a popular businessman. He just released a book recently. What was it called? FU Money.
Mm-hmm.
And I read it. It was really good. So now, and he started making YouTube videos. He makes tons of money. He lives in Vancouver, BC, which is where I live. Yeah, just a really great businessman. And somehow Matt started hanging out with this guy. So now I'm asking Matt about him.
Yeah, in case you haven't seen Dan Lok before, he has a YouTube channel where he grew up from just like 100,000 earlier this year to now 900,000, soon to be 1 million. So he went from like 100,000 followers to 1 million followers in a year. And I think an important thing to note is that Dan Lok was already making a lot of money before he went on YouTube, and then YouTube just scaled him. And I think when you're already an interesting person and you go on YouTube, it's easier. If you're not, if you're I grew with my YouTube channel and I'm still growing with it all the time. So for me to go to like grow, it took a lot longer because I just didn't know anything. I learned while I was making YouTube videos.
Right.
But he already knew a lot of things before he started making YouTube videos. So that's why he's even able to grow. So to give context, I met him at Influential in February this year. And even though his YouTube channel had, around 100,000 subscribers, he flew in with 5 staff members. So
5 staff members. What does that mean?
5 staff.
Staff. Okay.
5 full-time employees.
Mm-hmm.
So it's not like he was making money from YouTube at the time. So he flew in with his wife, one of his copywriters, his executive director, and then head of customer service, and then a videographer. And so could you imagine like flying himself and 5 other people to Atlanta from Vancouver, just to show up at that event? He probably spent, $10,000 for everybody, right?
Mm-hmm.
All the hotel, food, and etc. and flight.
For sure, 10 grand. Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. And so I saw him speak there. And when I first saw Dan Lok, before, like this is in December 2017, I saw his videos and they're pretty crappy at the time. So I didn't think he was a big shot, like, because he just had his recordings of him speaking at the Vancouver club, but you can't really tell like how many people are in the audience. And even when it did show, it'd be like 20 people. So I really didn't think he was a big deal. Like anybody could speak, in a venue of like 20 people. It's not like wow,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
But then I saw him speak at Menfluential, and I was blown away because it was a really good speech. Because part of it was that the previous speakers at Menfluential were not very animated; they're a little bit dry. And then when Dan Lok comes on with his red suit and blew me away, I was like, wow, okay, this guy's interesting.
His book is great too. Like
His book,
it's really good. Like
really good.
I saw his YouTube videos before because I saw you hanging out with him.
Yeah.
And you saw him everywhere because he blew up so quickly, right? And I saw him on YouTube.
Yeah.
I think I watched a video or two and I was like, another one of these guys.
Yeah.
Another one of these. I don't even know what to call them. Self-promoter guys. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Gurus.
Sorry. Yeah.
Yeah.
But then I think somebody read his book. It might have been from watching you. I don't know, but I bought his book for whatever reason, and I read it, and I was like, "Damn, this is good. This guy's real." And yeah, basically that's how it came about.
The book extra sold me on him, but to go back to Menfluential,
extra sold me.
All right, but to go back to Menfluential, I was standing in the back, and I was talking to Stefan, which is one of his copywriters, and Stefan just asked me what I did, and I was like, I make YouTube videos. So after I saw Dan Lok speak, I went back to Stefan and said, hey, like, let's do a joint venture. I want to sell whatever Dan Lok's selling.
So I want to sell whatever Dan Lok's selling.
Yeah, I want to sell whatever he's selling.
That's funny.
So they thought about it, and then they got back to me, and they decided like we're gonna do a joint venture, and so then we go straight to the Ritz-Carlton, and I'm unprepared at all. Like I'm wearing basic jeans, like my crap jeans. I
have no warm lighting.
Yeah, no warm lighting. Actually, it's too warm. The lighting in that room ended up being too warm. But I wasn't prepared because I was jet lagged. I couldn't sleep the night before. And we do the 2 interviews with Dan Lok, and I'm thinking like, what is going on right now? We do it in the Ritz-Carlton. We shoot it, and like that's how the joint venture started. I was so nervous. Like Desmond, who's Dan Lok's executive director, was able to, man, they were so good. Like, so Dan Lok teaches like closing, right? To demo like how good they are at closing. When we get to the Ritz-Carlton is the conference rooms. They're supposed to be on the low end is $500 per hour. Okay. Desmond, who is Dan Lok's executive director, closes the floor manager to just let us use for 2 hours for free.
Huh.
Yeah, it's amazing. And then he slips one of the floor waiters, because they have a lounge, floor, bar lobby, bar on the first floor. and he slips to one of the waiters like, hey, it's 20 bucks. Like, hey, can you just like get us like a couple glasses of champagne or something? Waiter says, sure. Comes back with a whole bottle of champagne. Now, one of these bottles of champagne, you know, if you had to buy them, if you're gonna chill in the lounge and you bought a bottle of champagne, it's gonna cost you like 100 to 150 bucks in the Ritz Carlton. But by just slipping the guy 20 bucks, asking for a glass of champagne and being really nice, and also wearing suits,
Yeah, it's gotta be like aura. That's gotta be the biggest factor here for sure.
The aura matters. We had aura, we had an entourage, and Dan Locke's whole team was dressed up in suits. Dan Locke was still wearing his suit. Desmond was wearing a suit. Stefan was wearing a suit. They're all wearing their suits. And when you have that entourage of like, man, these are businessmen getting things done, people want to do you favors.
Yeah, I get it 100%. Instead of the waiter being like, oh no, who the hell are you? It's, you know, instead it's 200 bucks a bottle. Piss off or whatever. Instead he's like, oh shit, these guys, I better do whatever these guys want me to do because they're important, obviously.
They're high rollers.
They're high rollers.
Right? They're high rollers.
Well, for whatever reason, it's gonna bite me in the ass if I don't listen to whatever they're saying, or you know.
But it also helps that Dan Locke always stays at the Ritz Carlton, like every time he travels. So the floor manager actually looked up like his name, you know, blah blah, and the thing, and they could check like his profile, and it's like, boom, has been staying at the Ritz Carlton for the past 5 years. It's like, okay, yeah, let's just give this guy a room. Yeah. But what Dan Locke really taught me though is things like that, like caring about things like that, because it does matter in being influential. Like I learned more about soft skills. Like, you know, when you read FU Money, you don't learn any practical skills, but you take away from it like a different mindset that I haven't seen anywhere else written before. Have you? Like when you read FU Money? Because a lot of books I read about money, it's all about saving your money, or all about, you know, spending within your means and being comfortable and putting your money in mutual funds and things like that.
It definitely stands out. Like it's not entirely unique, I would say, but it is. There's a piece of it that is unique, I would say, and also he's very charismatic, and he comes. I like authenticity. I feel like I have a really good bullshit detector, internal bullshit detector, and he comes off as a really like authentic guy. And I like that. So I like him because he's successful. I like him because he's authentic. I like him because he's charismatic, and he's got a good story, and he's got good things to say. I don't know.
He's got good things to say. The thing I got out of FU Money is that I had reached an income level where I could spend, you know, good money, but there's still that upbringing in me that was very conservative with how I spent. And when I read FU Money, it let that part of me go. I could finally fly business class without guilt. Before, go ahead.
I was just gonna say yes. I think so. I think I was along. I'm still, I think, in that transition, but definitely after seeing FU Money, listening to FU Money, it took me to like kind of the next stage of that, because I felt the same way. I was like always taught to, you know, save your money, don't spend a lot of money on dumb shit. But I've started to read a lot of books, like self-improvement books and things like that. So I'm kind of starting to get away from that. And after I read that, it took me kind of out of that shell even more, I would say. So yes, same kind of experience.
Yeah.
You were talking about business class, flying business class.
Flying business class.
Yeah.
So now if the flight's like 6 hours or longer, 100% I'm gonna fly business class. And like first time I flew it, I felt I felt amazing. I felt like a milestone. I felt a little bit of guilt. I was like, there's that when you buy something expensive for yourself, I think all of us have that moment of thought where we think, do I absolutely need this though? Or like, could I have saved that extra couple $1,000s for another day? But what I learned from FU Money is that you could always, by spending money, for me, psychologically, I'm more motivated to earn more money because I did the whole 4-hour work week thing because I was making $12,000 a month, working 4 hours a week. And I did that for nearly, by the way, maybe not 4, maybe it was like 12, okay? But basically, essentially barely working, like 1 day a week.
That's still a shitload of money from YouTube.
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of amazed that you're making that much because, like, even if you like look at your YouTube channel now and just like extrapolate, it doesn't make sense that you would have made 12,000. So I don't know. The ads that you were getting must have been
No,
like.
it has nothing to do with ad revenue. It's all with the digital marketing course.
Oh, okay. Yes,
Yeah.
that makes way more. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Because the ad
So
revenue, no way. Like
no
that's
way.
yeah.
To give you the ratio, it was like $9,000 from the digital marketing
Yeah.
course that I
Okay.
sell,
Yeah.
and $3,000 from YouTube ad revenue.
Makes more sense. Yes.
Yeah.
That's more. Yeah. Okay.
And then
Gotcha.
like maybe I threw in like a couple other sponsors there. Like, you know what's crazy? I made one video about a coding boot camp in Spain last year, and this year it's gotten more sales than I did when I published the video. So this year in itself, that video has made me $8,000, which is not bad for like one video that you make one time.
Hey,
Not all my
that's
videos.
okay.
A lot of my videos fail. Like that's an exceptional video. But it just goes to show that how powerful YouTube can be, but also how disappointing it can be. Because for every video that I did like that, nine of them failed, and one of them still makes me residual money.
Right. What I saw recently that you started up a mastermind. Like,
Yeah.
what's that all about? Just tell me about that, basically, I guess.
The mastermind we did this year. Well, I've been to a couple masterminds. I went to Jabril's mastermind. And then I go to the Empire Flippers mastermind every year. And I decided to have my own just for fun. I want to share what I know and help people out. So we had the mastermind this year. It was here in the Philippines. It was $3,500. And we got a survey of the people that wanted to come. And most people just wanted, from my audience, most people just wanted to leave their 9-to-5 job to work remotely. So we catered the whole mastermind to that. We had Joe Mignotti, who's the CEO of Empire Flippers, talk to every single attendee. And I had a couple of other entrepreneurs. So these people got to meet very, very high level entrepreneurs. We also went on a yacht. We went to an orphanage. I think I donated like $500 too, just as portion of the revenue that we got to the orphanage. And then we also went to a Japanese spa. So it was a really decked out experience here in the Philippines. And I think that's an important experience for people to have, so that they get a taste of the good life. And then when they go back, they're more motivated to work harder because they know what's possible out there. I think once people know, like, yeah, you could come to the Philippines, live a life like this, even if you make like $6,000 a month online, it just makes it so much more real. Because if it's not real to you, you're not gonna work toward it.
So you would say the biggest thing they got coming out of it was the experience of just almost like going on a vacation, really, or a taste of the life they could be living.
And the reason I want to focus on that is when I read FU Money, and I also when I went to Jabril's mastermind, I realized, like, when you're only there for like 4 days, there's not enough time to actually teach you something technical. And if you want to learn something technical, we'll just send you like a YouTube video, or we'll just send you a video. That's where you can learn about like the actual, how to set up a Google AdWords campaign, how to set a Facebook campaign, all those kind of stuff you can learn on your own, like through video.
You want to give them a taste of business class.
We want to give them a feeling, not knowledge. And it sounds crazy to say that. Like, why would you spend so much money for a feeling? Because the way you feel, the one mindset will lead you to learn the tactics and the strategies.
No, you're right.
But if you don't have that motivation, you don't have that feeling, you're not going to do the work necessary to learn those things.
It's like you're trying to create a positive addiction, almost, in a way. That's like you're giving them a taste of something and saying, hey, keep doing this, and this is what it's going to be like, or you can have this again, or you can have this all the time.
Yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to implement with them.
Yeah. That's
they had a great time. We got 5 out of 5 reviews. Man, they had a really good time. Like, all of them are asking, like, man, like, so when's the next one? So we're actually gonna skip 2019 because I'm working on the 2 other businesses, but 2020 we'll do it again.
Yeah. So tell me more about these other businesses, by the way, because now you're doing YouTube still, and obviously, but what about you're using YouTube to supplement these other companies, obviously. So what's you mentioned 2 of them.
So the one is remotize.com, which is the job board. That one, it just made sense because I have a lot of job seekers on my channel, and I wanted a job board that I controlled. And I promoted other job boards in the past.
So what are you going to do to this job board that's different? Why do you want to be able to control this job board?
Because people don't know how to get remote jobs, or people straight up just suck at applying for jobs, and it's not their fault. It's that you're being trained poorly, because nobody wants to be honest with you. Employers don't care about being honest with you.
No.
But when we just hired 2 content writers for Remotize, and we had over 220 applicants. Oops, sorry, I just dropped that. We had over 220 applicants, and I would say, honestly, straight off the bat, like 70% of them just got eliminated right away for different reasons. One of them could be like, just I could tell you copy and pasted your cover letter. To me, you gotta think about what it signals to the employer. If you copy and paste your cover letter to me, and I know it's copy and pasted, that tells me you don't care enough about this job to write me a custom cover letter. Then other things is, people, like, when you do write a custom cover letter, sometimes they write things that like in line with what I in my. It clearly shows like you don't listen, because you didn't tailor your cover letter to what I wrote. But some people didn't even have a portfolio, which is ridiculous. Like, if you don't have a portfolio and you're applying for remote jobs, you're just gonna get thrown in the trash can.
That doesn't even make sense. That makes no sense.
That makes absolutely no sense. And I would say probably about 25% of the people who applied for the position did not have a portfolio.
It's like a homeless guy coming up to my door and saying, "Hey man, can I work for you?" Like,
yeah, exactly. What? That's exactly how that's a perfect analogy. And so that one was like, you're instantly gone. And so these people have no chance. And then also, a lot of people don't even try to think about what is the deeper pain point of why the employer is hiring you. Why I like certain people better than others is some people said like, hey, I've written this blog and it's gotten this many views. Because at the end of the day, I want content writers to build up traffic to Remotize. So when they show that they understand or they can build traffic with their blogs, that puts them like already in like the top 10% of candidates. So to circle back of why I wanted the job board is because I wanted to teach people how to apply to remote jobs better, or any job better. And so I wanted my own job board where we could have our own content, blogs and podcasts that teaches people how to apply for jobs better. And that'll also improve the employer experience, because when employers receive applicants from our job board, they'll think, oh my God, these applicants are so much better. This is the only job board I want to use.
Okay, so this job board, then it's a hub for content. It's the people who go to your job board, they put their content there so that employers can look and say, look at this guy's blog, look at this guy's podcast, look at this guy's projects.
No, our content on blog. Our content on blog is gonna teach people how to apply for jobs better.
Oh, okay, I understand.
But people can make profiles on our platform, and then employers can pay to access the job seekers.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. You have to have a profile. You got to be able to. The employers need to be able to see the projects and all that kind of thing. Definitely. Yeah. Cool. Okay, so what about the other one? Was something about videos? It's highlighting vacation videos, or?
So the second one is unrelated. It's called MinuteCut.com. We haven't built out the website yet. We're still working on the funnel. But my co-founder, because I'm doing marketing, and then my co-founder Anthony is doing operations.
On both companies, or just
just MinuteCut.
Okay.
So with MinuteCut, Anthony co-owns Amazon product photography business. So people who want to sell on Amazon, they can send their products to Anthony's company, and they take professional pictures of their product so that the seller can use them on Amazon. They make a ton of money right now. So Anthony and I are both media specialists, and we noticed that a lot of our friends and family, they'll take like vacation footage or drone footage, and they'll never post it. So there's over 1 million drones being sold in America every year now. And so people fly these drones for fun, because flying a drone is for fun. But then they never post the videos, because they have when you fly a drone, you have like this really boring clip of your drone flying for 15 minutes, and that's it. So you just have all these random drone shots, but it's not like consolidated in a shareable video.
I just want to say, I think it's a great idea. I think what that business is a really good idea, especially right now, because there's nothing else that I've seen like it.
Yeah.
And like just from my personal experiences, I go on vacation every year with my girlfriend. We go to the
Yeah.
Bahamas because her parents have a condo there. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
Anyway, there's she takes thousands of photos and
Yeah.
tons of videos, and then they just get put on a hard drive somewhere,
Yeah.
and they never get looked at. And yes, like if you like you said, if you were to take those videos and make a highlight reel or make a highlight reel with slideshows, whatever, it would be really cool, and it'd be an efficient way to look back at your vacation. And
Yeah.
it's really easy to do. It's just that average people don't have video editing skills, and so it's a good idea. I think that's a really good idea.
Oh yeah, yeah. When Anthony told me about this, I kind of thought about it because Anthony is also, he's an operations guy, but he's also a crazy idea guy. I'm not so much of a crazy idea guy. So when he said it, and he thought of it because he was on vacation with his family in Florida right now, and they're flying drones together. And he's like, wait a second, my parents have no idea how to edit a video. They're never gonna edit a video.
Yeah, exactly.
So he's like, why don't we just make a company? Because we already know how to do it, and we could hire a team of here in the Philippines to do it. And Anthony is like, he ran the cost because he already does operations for Virtuous Graphics. He's like, we could charge $25 per edit. I was like, hold on, Anthony. Like, let's add another $4 for marketing costs, okay?
For sure, charge more for sure.
Yeah. Like, so we're gonna run it at like $30, and like it'll be really simple. Like someone can just upload their footage. Someone can buy the package, upload their footage. We edit it. We have someone here in the Philippines go through it, make a 1-minute cut of it with behind some music, and then we just send it back to you. And for someone to do that in the Philippines, they could get it done in like just a couple hours. So like $30 is pretty good. Obviously, it's gonna be a high volume thing, but again, if we keep the cost low enough, like the market share is so big that there's so many people who want this service that we could just charge $30. And if we think we just charge like $30, like we're just gonna get a lot of people. And we've looked at the competition, and it's like they do too many different things. So they'll like edit your wedding videos, edit your pro videos, edit like these things, and they charge more too. And they have like different things. Like we're making it simple. You're getting a 1-minute shareable video. We're not gonna make this 5-minute video. We're not gonna make a 4-minute video. Pretty much know what you're getting. A 1-minute highlight video with some music in the background, and the people that we're bringing on are specialized in doing that. And then once they do that, once in the beginning, like we won't have like a really nice formula for it. But once we've done it, once we've done like 100 orders or 1,000 orders, we're gonna have it like boom, like zip line where like for $30 and you see it and it's like beautiful.
And it's a hands-off thing too, right? Like they can just go to your website, buy the package, they upload their stuff. You're doing
no
nothing.
instructions.
No instructions. Yeah.
No instructions. We already know what you want.
Yeah,
we already
exactly.
know what you want. And I think that's really important because I think when you get people that like, when you have to give instructions, that takes away from the easiness of it, right? Like, I have to tell you what I want. But if you see like our samples and you're like, okay, like that's something I want. I basically just want a highlight clip with some music in the background that I could post on Facebook or Instagram.
And for $30, they're like, looks good. $30.
And then we'll upsell the revisions for like $10. So if someone's unhappy, like, I want a couple things changed. But yeah, fine, just pay us $10. We'll revise it. No big deal.
I think that's a great idea. I think that will do well if implemented right. I think the idea is great.
Yeah.
So
I appreciate that. And I think with this project, I'm really excited about it because, with my channel, I think something that's been holding me back is that I'm not really an expert in anything. I've done a lot of crazy things, but I've never made like $1 million company outside of like YouTube. So I want to make $1 million company like with MinuteCut or Remotize. But Remotize, I know the market share or the market cap is not that high. I think like with Remotize, I think I'll be capped out around like making like probably $20,000 a month will be like the max. Most likely I'll probably like hang around like $10,000 a month.
There's competition too, and there's a lot of variables. It seems like but the MinuteCut thing, that seems like it's simple. There's very little competition.
Very low competition.
And you can do it for very low overhead. And
very low overhead, yeah.
It seems like a great idea, I think. I wish I thought of it.
It's all good. And I don't even mind telling people the idea because as everybody says, like an idea is worthless. Like you just mentioned, the execution is everything. Yeah. And I think with my marketing experience and then Anthony's operations experience, since he already manages a team of 25 Filipinos, like even if you know the idea, you can't do it as well as us. And so we're just gonna stomp you out.
Yeah, I wouldn't be worried about telling people. I hate it when people email me and they're like, "Hey man, can you help me with this Android project? I can't. I don't want to tell you the idea though because I'm scared someone's gonna steal it or something." I'm like, no one's gonna steal your idea. just come on.
Your idea probably sucks too, by the way.
I don't. I mean, not always. Sometimes
No,
a lot of the time the ideas are just too much. Like that's what I
they're
find.
too
Like,
complicated,
they're
right?
too complicated. Yeah,
Yeah.
and like you need an idea like yours. That's a prime idea because it's so
Yeah.
simple and like there's no moving parts. You've already thought of all the variables. You've
Yeah.
literally named all the variables. We talked about for 5 minutes.
Yeah. If you can't explain your business idea in one sentence, it's a shit idea.
Probably yes.
Yeah. Yeah.
I mean,
That's a good
expert,
litmus
but
test for it.
yeah, litmus test. Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
But also the thing about creating a business too is that for your first business, I recommend not making a first business. I recommend working for a business similar to the one that you want to create. So if you want to make a SaaS business, which a lot of people do, try working for a SaaS business first, and then you'll get a better understanding, and you're gonna make a lot smarter choices. But to like come out and be like, yeah, I'm gonna study Android development and then just make my own Android app and try to make money, it could happen, and it does happen, but like it just doesn't. It's just not the usual. Like it's just most people have to work for a company first before making their own SaaS, and it's not even that you can't learn the programming. But two things: you don't know what to program. Knowing what to program is more important than knowing how to program. It's how to market it. Which company it is, marketing is half the battle.
Yeah, at least half, if not
At
more.
least half,
yeah,
if not more. Yeah.
I was gonna ask you something. No, I forgot. Oh, I watched one of your videos before starting the interview. It said that you were thinking about retiring. Was that a joke, or you were actually thinking about it says, I think you said,
Yeah.
I was thinking about retiring this year, but then I didn't. Well,
I don't know, like, because with Engineer Truth, like, sometimes I kind of go with it. And I kind of want to retire too, because like if I could focus like full time on MinuteCut, I feel like I could scale that shit so fast. But I'm not. When I say retire, I meant retire from like Engineer Truth, but I wouldn't retire like altogether. But just work
okay.
on something new, work on something different. But yeah, I think like with helping people get jobs, it's pretty fun. But we'll see where it goes. Sometimes I get a little bit burnt out from it, just like anything else.
Yeah, well, you said you've been doing it for 7 years,
7
so I
years.
mean that's a long time.
7 years, yeah.
That progression that you talked about is very valuable. I think it's similar to my progression too. Like when I started, I was making nothing.
Yeah.
It seemed very. Even now, I don't have a big YouTube channel, but I could definitely see it potentially getting big. And it's just about like getting those reps in. Keep making the videos, and they'll get better and better, and eventually you'll end up with something good.
I think also besides the monetary value of having a YouTube channel, like more of what I got out of it is meeting people. And so that's why I don't think I can retire, because that's where I met Joe, which is my mentor. That's also where I met Dan Locke, who I consider another mentor. So even though if I wanted to retire out of necessity and out of building my network even bigger, I still have to keep doing the YouTube channel for a very long time.
Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to take up that much of your time. Really,
Yeah.
you could make like a video a month, and the channel would maintain itself. Like
The channel would maintain itself. You're right.
yeah, like you have enough good valuable content on there. It's not like it's dated. Like it would take 10 years for your content to be not valid, really, because you're giving
Yeah.
career advice and you're interviewing real people in industry. That's not going away.
Yeah.
So.
I don't know. I'm always experimenting with it, and if I could just increase the income from Engineer Truth, because right now I think we're making like 20,000 a month. If I could make it like, if I can make it like 30,000 a month, I'd be pretty happy with that. So we'll see how it goes.
Mm-hmm.
See how it goes.
Cool. Okay. Well, we're actually at an hour now, but if I got a couple more questions if you want
I got
to stick
time.
around. Okay.
Yeah.
So I guess we'll start with a career question that I have first.
Yeah.
What message would you have? Because my audience is mostly programmers, young programmers too. Usually people some in college, or sorry, some in high school, mostly in college, some in masters or PhD, but the vast majority is young men studying programming. What message do you have to all of my programmers who are watching, specifically tailored to probably college? Do you think, what do you think about taking on debt to learn programming? Do you think like what are your thoughts on that, I guess?
Programming is still one of the most powerful skills that you can learn. And I think if I could go back to my college years, I would not have studied mechanical engineering, and I definitely would not have studied psychology. What I would have studied is computer science or information systems, because knowing those skills is so important for your business later on. For example, Dan Lok is making his platform closers.com. He actually bought the domain closers, which I try to ask him how much he bought it for, but he won't tell me. But now he has to hire a team of developers, system admins, people who make the servers, and the Amazon AMS, or was Amazon Web Services, AWS.
Yeah.
And like he has to build up this whole technical team now. But because he doesn't have a technical background, he has to rely on consultants to guide him, right? And then also Moz.com, which is I
know Moz.
SEO software. For those who don't know, the founders Rand Fishkin. He wrote a blog, things that he would have changed, what he would have done differently if he was in his 20s. And he said he would have taken a few years to work as a software engineer. And then also my mentor, Joe Magnotti, he's creating his own platform with empireflippers.com to make it streamlined to buy or sell online businesses. So eventually, no matter what kind of business you own, you're gonna need SaaS later or software later. And if you don't have that software background, you're just gonna have to rely on consultants or other people's advice. And it's just not the same as like when you know both. If you know your business and you know the software engineering part, that's way more powerful than trying to communicate it with someone who's gonna be your advisor or consultant on that. So I think if you're studying coding right now, if you have to take loans out for it, it's well worth it. Just as like any other career advice though, I would focus on getting a wide variety of experiences earlier in your career. See different types of ways that people run their companies. Try a big company, try a small company. Try low-level programs or languages. Try high-level languages. Just like get a wide variety of experience so that when you do decide to choose your route, you've at least seen everything. For some people, yeah, working at a large company is going to be for them. For some people, no way. They want to make their own thing. But I think by seeing your life as like middle of mini experience and not having the mindset, oh, if I get a job at Google, I'm going to stay there for the rest of my career. Don't have that mindset. Have the mindset you're just every year you're jumping around and seeing what's out there. And one thing is, the whole like, oh, AI is going to replace programmers is probably the dumbest thing.
I agree. I think that's stupid. Like if you actually believe that, you
don't work in technology.
No,
you don't even know what technology literally is really the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Like, and also the people that say like Squarespace is going to replace like web developers, you have no idea what web developers actually do.
I hear that one all the time. People ask me, is it still valuable to learn web development? And sometimes actually they ask me if it's still valuable to learn how to program. I'm like, what world do you think we're moving into? I think those are the people who believe that AI is going to make our programs and wipe our ass and do everything. You still need people. You always need people.
You always need people.
The jobs will change, but like you go from building the software to maintaining the software to building new. Like there's always going to be programming jobs.
Like who is going to write the AI to be better? It's like programmers. Yeah. And also to answer the question, like, oh, what about Squarespace who are making websites? I do think there are no longer going to be web developers to make e-commerce websites, but there are so many software problems out there that e-commerce is just one of them. For example, we're using software as a service for our job board. So we're paying a subscription of $300 a month to this company who's made a white labeled job board. So I need I'm essentially paying developers to do that because the subscription is pretty expensive, like $300 a month. But they're making the job board for me, and also for other people because it's white labeled. And that's something that is not being commoditized by Squarespace. I can't go to Squarespace right now and be like, hey guys, I want a job board. No, that's still something that needs to be developed with a team of developers over at jobboard.io. And that's just one example of the need for web developers. We also use a software called filestage.io, where it allows my video editing team to upload their work, and I could revise it. I click on it and make annotations on it, and it's really, really useful. We pay $100 a month for it. And
what is it? Can you explain that a little better? I was a little confused.
So we had problems with revisions and me telling them like how to revise videos. So with filestage.io, the video editor could upload a video, and then as the video is playing, I could click on the scrine.
Oh, that's
and
cool.
I could click on the screen and put like change this text to this.
That's
then,
awesome. What is it?
yeah.
I need this. Hold on. what is it? Filespace.io?
Yeah, filestage.io.
Yeah, filespace.io.
Filestage.
Filestage.io. Okay.
Filestage.io.
Sorry, that's awesome. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, now I lost. You lost your train of thought.
No, it's fine. To go back to it, the point I'm making is that Squarespace and Wix and all those providers for e-commerce websites or basic portfolio websites, yeah, there's no longer going to be developers to make a portfolio website or like a photographer website or for like a e-commerce website. There's no need with Shopify and all that now. But that's just only the main problems that people have when it comes to having a website. There are thousands and maybe even millions of different problems that people need to be solved with apps or websites. And I just named a couple to just give you an example of why we still need web developers.
Not to mention, like there's always going to be fine tuning, and who do you think builds these things? Web developers.
Yeah, I mean, I just mentioned Dan Locke is building Closers.com. What he's going to hire? Web developers. You think he's going to use Squarespace to make Closers.com like his platform to connect closers with enterprises? Yeah. No. Do you think Joe could buy like a SaaS to make a online business marketplace? No. Like there are infinite amount of, they're not infinite, but there's millions of problems out there that people have that need to be solved with custom websites.
Yes, I agree.
Custom web apps is the proper term, by the way.
Yeah, web apps is the term. You're right.
It's the proper term.
You went to a boot camp,
Before some nerd gets mad at me. By the way, and also a thing to people who are web developers, do take serious training in learning soft skills. I actually have a lot of engineers and web developers, coders who took Dan Locke's course, high ticket closing course through my referral. And with his HTC course, it's like half soft skills and half learning how to close, really technical closing skills.
What does it cost?
$2,500.
That's pricey.
Pricey, yeah. But the transformation that they have made with it is amazing, because once you actually do work in something technical, you realize that, yeah, the technical part is an important part of the job, but to build a company or to get promoted, it's mostly soft skills. And if you don't have that, you're just unenjoyable to work with, and you're going to have a hard time getting a job. You're going to have a hard time getting promoted, and you'll definitely have a hard time trying to start your own company because nobody wants to work for you. I mean, I see this all the time where people who are really technical, they believe that if they just get really good at being technical, they can get a job, and then they can't get a job. You know why? Because when they show up to interviews, they suck. Or when they have like, when they even, and you can even tell they're awkward in the way they write cover letters, right? They can't even write well. So it's going to hold you back more than a lot of people think it will.
Yeah. Here's a message for all of you who think that there's always someone who can replace you. But if people like you, people like you.
That's absolutely true.
Yeah.
That is absolutely true.
So my last kind of stuff I want to talk about is I want to ask you some kind of, I guess, fun questions. I want to just ask you about your life in general, because I don't know if you want to share it. If you don't, whatever. Sure. But anyway, do you have a significant other in your life?
I do not have a significant other.
And is it because you focus a lot on work, or is it because you got stupid looking eyebrows?
Personal taste is the reason why I don't like to be. I have no idea, actually. I put a lot of time into it because I see very successful people do both. Like I have, Dan Locke, he's in a committed marriage, and then Joe, he has a long-term girlfriend too. So, but I also see a lot of people who are successful who are not into relationships. For me, I have not met the person where I'm like, wow, I really want to commit myself to you.
Yeah,
I met a lot of people.
It's a big deal.
I met a lot of girls who I think, oh yeah, you're a cool girl. I like to hang out with you. We can hang out. But I haven't met a girl so cool where I'm like, yeah, I only want to hang out with you.
Yeah. Or you meet her and you're like, you're my partner. because that's what it is.
Yeah.
It's your
Yeah.
partner. It's a person who you'd spend forever with. You make decisions with. It's a life partner. So yeah.
For me, I want like three main things, right? Like I want them to be good, attractive, first of all. Second thing is I want them to have their own business going on. And it could be anything. I just want them to understand business, because people who don't do business at all, I just feel like I can't have that intellectual conversation with them. Some guys don't need this, by the way. Some guys, they prefer their their partner not being involved because it helps them take their mind off the business. There's different personalities. I'm just saying what works, what I want. So I want obviously someone attractive, someone that has their own business, so that we can connect on a higher intellectual level. And then I want someone that's funny. And if she has all those three qualities, I'm pretty set.
Those are pretty good. They're very straightforward. Like they're not super particular, but those are good. Those are good three qualities, I would say. Yes, because you're gonna be physically attracted. You're gonna be mentally attracted.
Yeah.
And what was the third one?
Humor.
Yeah, I mean, you gotta be funny. Gotta have a sense of humor.
Yeah. But I mean, I've set the bar pretty high, but I think like for me right now in with my current lifestyle, it really does make sense. And it's a little bit crazy because like when I was like 20 years old or 25, like I couldn't get any girls at all. And then like when you hit 30, like for some reason, the number 30 is a really attractive number to girls, but 29, you're too fucking young. But but something like, so it's something, because so with dating apps, they get like girls can set the age range that they're looking for. For some reason, a lot of girls, like when they see 29, they think you're immature, but like numerically when they see 30, they're like, oh yeah, he's mature, he's ready for a long-term relationship. But 29, nah, too young for me.
He's past the threshold. We're good.
Yeah, it's like it's humans are interesting like that. But yeah, once there's a couple things that changed for me. Like I started with learning from Dan Locke, I started worrying about my image a lot more. So the pictures I had on my dating profiles and even on my Instagram got a lot better, and that influenced what people thought of me. So there are girls, when they see the post, they react to it. It legitimately influences how people think about you. And when I started posting better Instagram pictures, like I got a lot more attention. And then a lot of times with dating profiles, your Instagram is connected to your dating profile with Tinder and Bumble. And so when I started posting better pictures, I started getting a lot more attention. Then I also, wording is really important too. So I used to say I was the owner of Engineer Truth. And then I changed it to CEO of Remotize. And then that had a bump too. So girls like the word CEO more than owner. But in addition, you can't just put CEO, then you have like your shitty pictures of you at the gym or like naked selfie, right? Naked gym selfie. Like you have to look like a CEO too if you put it down. But then I also took like some notes out of psychology, and I realized that if you have good pictures with kids on your dating profile, that is like the number one thing you could do. If I had to, like, honestly, I could make a really good course on like, this is crazy to you, right? Like I could make a really good course.
No. I mean, this all makes sense to me. It's just really interesting to hear it all put into words, because these are things that I have thought, but I've never had this conversation with anybody. So yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So crazy. This is like, I'm glad this is the end of the show, because only people going to catch this are people who stayed for the hour.
No. Because this is how people watch these things. They watch the start and they watch the end. So this is what people are going to see.
Okay, so I was flying home from the Philippines, and I was watching Tagalog movies for fun, and I noticed that in the movies, the guy's chasing the girl, but the girl's resisting. It's always the girl resisting, right? Like that's just typical rom-com format. It would be really boring if the girl instantly likes the guy. So the guy is pursuing the girl, but she's like, no, you're not my type because you're a player or you're blah 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 for whatever reason. But then there's that switch when she has that oh crap moment. I like this guy. And I noticed every time they had that oh crap moment, there's always a scene of the guy playing with a kid. Every single time. Like it happened like 3 movies in a row. Cause I was like looking at the structure of the movie. I was just like watching the movie, having a little in business class, they give you free drinks. I was getting like a little drunk. And I was like, okay, that's a pretty cool scene. Then I watched the second movie. I was like, wait a second, there's another kid, and the male is playing with another kid. I was
The
like, wait a
pattern
second,
here.
okay.
What's happening?
I was like, wait a second, let's just watch one more movie, see what happens. Again, the same thing. Girl's resisting, and then the moment that she falls for the guy's playing with a kid. I was like, okay, this is something here. So then I did before all this happened. I had gone to an orphanage in the Philippines, and I did an outreach program. I donated a bunch of supplies, and I donated a couple $100. So then I put those pictures of orphanage on my dating profile, and that was a huge boom. I would say like that was the biggest significant jump. Is when I had pictures of me hanging out with kids at an orphanage was by far the strongest thing you could probably put on your dating profile.
I wonder what that is. Like, what is the thing that does it for a girl with that? Is it that you appear to be a provider? Is it that you appear to be that you want to have kids? Or is it that you appear to be a good human? Like, what is the specific thing there that makes them go, oh, okay, yeah, this guy?
I think it's everything that you just listed, and particularly it's stronger when it's a kid that does not belong to your blood. Yeah.
So, interesting.
Like, yeah, if it's like your family member, it's not that strong. But if you're hanging out with kids who are not your family members and you're making them happy, it's really strong. Because I noticed that happened in the movies too. Like they had the kid not be related to the main character, to the guy.
Some like poor orphan kid, and the main character like gives him a sandwich or something.
It was not usually orphan. It was like in one of the movies, which is called Barcelona. The kid didn't even have like a role in the movie. It's just a shot of the male character showing the kid how to use a camera, but the kid wasn't even introduced. It was just a rant. It was the reason I took note of it, because I was thinking like, who's that kid? Like, why is this kid like? Because the kid was sitting on his lap, and I was like, why is this kid sitting on his lap, and why is he showing the kid how to use a camera? Because they didn't introduce the topic at all. It just is a little bit like shoved in there a little bit, and that's why it stuck out to me.
Yeah,
but,
like a subtle little like injection of this thing.
Like, who's the kid? And and if I had to give the reason why women like that, I mean, it has a lot to do with like signals, right? Because we're always signaling to other people who we are, and if you're signaling that you get along well with kids, I think like again that signals to them like he's good with kids. And also if you're around a lot of kids, that shows that the kids trust you, so you're a trustworthy person. Like if the kids are having a good time, they're smiling, that means you're also a provider of good feelings. Like you provide them good feelings. And if kids are trust you enough, kids are like dogs, right? They don't bullshit. Like us, we'll pose in a picture even with someone we don't like. Like, okay, I don't like this person, but I'll pose in a picture. I'll smile, pretend like I'm happy, just to be PC. Mm-hmm. A kid won't do that. If a kid doesn't like you, he's not going to pose in a picture with you and smile or have a good time with you. They're genuine. No. Yeah. And so if kids are shown genuinely to have a good time with you, that means they're genuinely having a good time. They're not forcing it. And I think that's a good indicator to women. Like, okay, if these kids are genuinely having a good time with this person, then that means this guy is a genuine leader and a genuine provider.
Right. Makes sense. It's a good indicator. It's not, not guaranteed to be 100% right, but it's a pretty good indicator generally. But
also I think like me going to the orphanage, like for me, when I went, I just did it because I thought like it's just something cool to do, right? Like I thought I was like, oh, like something that I just want to do. But then I realized like 99% or more of the male population would never do something like that on their own. Like they will do it maybe if they got invited. Like if you got invited, like, hey, let's go to an orphanage in the Philippines, and someone told you to bring you along, like,
yeah, I don't know. I'm thinking about it right now, and I'm maybe if I lived in the Philippines or something, but like I would never, just like where I live now, I would never think, oh, I'm gonna go to an orphanage and hang out with these kids, whatever. Never, for sure. But maybe if I was somewhere else, I don't know. I can't say.
I mean, I was already in the Philippines, so it's not like I came here just for that. But I think even for the men who do come here to the Philippines, I've never met another one who just went to an orphanage. And when I went, I pretty much went by myself. Yeah, I had one girl take me for the first time I went there because I saw that she went. So I just asked her like, hey, like when's? I actually asked her just for the address and a contact so that I could go myself. And then she ended up volunteering to go with me. But then I was really just ready to go by myself. I just wanted to go hang out by myself to just see it. And I think not a lot of people are willing to do that. So I think that is also a signal to a lot of people.
Yeah, enforces that it's a good indicator for sure.
Yeah, yeah.
So what do you do for fun? Like, what do you play video games? Do you watch Netflix? Do you go out for dinner? You go for drinks? What do you play
Yeah.
sports? What do you do for fun?
Drinks are my thing. Yeah.
Well, we should go for. Hey, next time you come visit Dan Locke, tell me, and we'll go for drinks because I like to go for drinks.
All right, I'm down. Probably somewhere in 2019. And then drinks are my thing. I did Muay Thai for several years. I'm gonna do Muay Thai again when I settle in the States for 2019. Working out, lifting weights is just 100% my thing. I have to do it like in the morning. Like it just doesn't feel right if I don't do it.
I forgot about that. I didn't say lifting weights, but yeah, that's cool. Me too.
Yeah.
Also, hey, we should go lift weights and then go for drinks.
Down.
That's
and
like my two favorite things to do in my spare time.
So people tell me that so right now I'm talking to you. I'm on camera, but when I'm off camera, I look worried all the time. Yeah, I frown my brows like that all the time. Oh. And so I've been meaning to do things that are purely for enjoyment and not related to work. So I just bought. Hold on, I'll just grab it for you. I just bought this thing.
Okay, I'll wait here.
I just bought a PlayStation Vita. This technology is like 2 or 3 years old, but I just bought it before I went to the Philippines.
Yeah,
I bought it for the flight actually. So I think doing things like this keeps people like me sane. When I only focus on work and I don't have things outside of work to do, I get really cranky. Not cranky, but too serious.
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean. Exactly the same thing happens to me. It's like I never smile anymore. And it's not like it's not because I'm angry or like I'm upset. It's just like everything is just like yes, no. Everything's it's like everything's made optimized or made efficient.
Yeah.
You never break that. Like the beginning of our talk, you said on Mondays you had to work or do something else and it broke your whole routine. And it's like you never break the business routine. So you never get out of that mindset. And so, yeah, I agree 100%. Stay with me. It's like you have to break that mindset once in a while, go for drinks, be hungover the next day. So you're not thinking about anything or like play some games, whatever.
One important thing I wanted to touch with that is that in the entrepreneurial space on YouTube and Instagram and Facebook, that a lot of these gurus tell you that you need to work 50, 60, or 70 hours a week. And there are gurus who do that. I think the ones that promote it, they absolutely do that. But from my side, I limit myself to at most 40 hours a week, and I make a couple $100,000 a year. And a lot of like my mentor Joe, he limits himself to around 40 hours a week too. He maybe will push to 45, and he has Empire Flippers as absolutely a multi-million-dollar company, maybe approaching like definitely an 8-figure business. And like you don't like if you build an 8-figure business and not only work 40 hours a week, you could do it because people have different opinions on this, but my opinion goes back to ancient Chinese philosophy in that there is a yin and yang to life, and you need both to be balanced. And so if you're only doing yin, you're only working, and you're going to be unbalanced, and it just shows up in weird ways. Like we were just mentioning, you become a robot. And for me as a single guy, I can't have that personality when I go out on a date. Imagine I'm on a date and I'm like, wow, if you're always thinking efficiency, when you go on a date, you're thinking like, so what do you do for work? Oh, okay. So where do you see yourself in 5 years?
Yeah,
man,
exactly.
The drinks are taking a long time. I don't really like this place. Oh man, like $10 drink. Well, this place is okay, but I know the other place, that place is $8 and has a better view. Like you're always comparing, you're always analyzing.
Yeah.
Nobody wants to be around that. Now it's important to have that attribute when you're working, but if you're like that all the time, it's going to screw you up and your overall happiness will go down. And I feel like I become more productive when I get shit-faced Friday, Saturday, and probably Sunday too. And then Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, Monday through Thursday, I'm working pretty hard. And I feel very good about it. Like come Sunday, if I party pretty hard, come Monday, I'm like ready to work. Like Monday morning, I itch to work. But when I used to, try that whole 50, 60-hour work week thing, come Monday, I'm still burnt out. I don't feel like working.
Yeah. I think burnt out is like, it's a bad buzzword, but that's the only word there is to describe it. But it's just like you're unmotivated is what it is. Whereas if you like, it's almost like when you go out and you go have a good time, you go out drinking, get super hungover, you feel like shit, and then Monday comes and you're like, okay, let's get some shit done. I'm done with screwing around. Like let's like there's definitely something there. I have something to add about what you just said about the date thing where that's where it's a terrible, you're not a very fun person to be around if you don't go and have fun sometimes. I planned a bachelor party for my cousin that last summer, and so a lot of these guys I don't know because I don't know my cousin's group of friends very well, and I didn't plan it, but I helped because I'm very like analytical and I'm good with organizing things and like collecting money and booking stuff and whatever, all that shit. I never communicated like voice to these people or met them in person. I always communicated with them like on Facebook Messenger or like whatever. And when they finally met me, they were like, wow, you seem like such a dick on the internet. You're actually a really nice guy and like super fun. And it's like, yeah, I mean, it's because I was trying to get shit done and you guys are screwing around. Now it's time to screw around.
With organizing events, unless you've done one yourself, you don't understand what the person is going through and how much of a pain in the ass it is.
Yeah, even like the smallest thing, like you're trying to be serious and someone throws in a joke and throws the whole conversation off. It's like, you're just like, you don't know what you just did.
You don't know what you just did. Yeah. When we had the mastermind, we had a couple curveballs thrown at me, and I looked pissed the whole time because one thing I learned about the mastermind is for sure I got to hire a coordinator next time I do it. But yeah, there's some curveballs thrown to me. Some people said they're going to go on the yacht, but didn't go on the yacht. We had some bad weather too. Some curveballs were thrown at me, and it tilted me. And I think if I had a coordinator just handle that shit for me, I could really just hang out with attendees because some of the attendees thought I was mad at them, but I was like mad at the curveballs. So they did they associated with themselves which was wrong.
Yeah, having an organizer would have been a good idea by the sounds of things for sure. That way you just don't have to think about it. You're like in happy fun time.
Exactly.
So we're getting a little long here. I just want to ask you one more question because I want to know if you remember this. So I think when I probably had about 700 subscribers on YouTube, I think I have like 28,000 or something like that now. It was about a year ago. I had 700, and I think it was when I was considering quitting my job too. And I went on one of your live streams, and you were like reviewing people's YouTube channels.
Yeah.
And you picked me because I was like, hey, review my channel. So do you remember that when you?
I remember doing the reviews. I don't remember your channel in particular.
Yeah, you didn't say much. You saw it and you were like, basically what you said was, hey, it looks like you're doing the right stuff. I think you should just keep doing what you're doing. That was your advice. So it was good advice. It turned out to be good advice. So thank you.
Did it really? Was it really?
Yeah. Well, I mean, yeah, I didn't change much. You looked at it. You listened to a couple of videos. Oh, you said I had a great voice.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. So that was nice. Thank you.
Yeah.
And
now you have 28,000.
Yeah, I think 28,000, something like that.
That's really good to go from 700 to 20,000 in like a year or two. That's really
good. Yeah, I think it's actually only a year.
That's good. That's really good.
A year and a half at most.
Yeah.
Something like that. Yeah, it's going well.
Oh yeah, man, you should be really happy with that.
Yeah, I definitely am. I have no complaints. YouTube is it's a fun thing and helps you. YouTube is kind of how I got started doing everything. Like YouTube doesn't make you money really from ad revenue, but you get money from having it. It's a good thing to have. Everybody should have a YouTube channel, I think.
Or some sort of online presence, depending on what platform suits them. It could be Instagram or Facebook or LinkedIn, something like that.
Yeah, I guess you're right. Depending on whatever suits them.
Depends on whatever suits we're trying to do. Yeah.
I have a nice voice, so I got to do YouTube.
So podcasting makes sense.
Heard it from Matt Tran. Got a nice voice.
You're welcome.
Yeah. Well, anyway, thanks for coming on here. I had a lot of fun, and I definitely, if you come to Vancouver and you're visiting your pal Dan Locke, let's go for a workout, lift some weights, have some drinks, and forget about work.
All right, let's do it. I'll see you later.
Yeah.